Welcome to our Community Project Sanctuary and Support campaign presented by H.A.A.M. That's our group name. I'm Annabelle, and we have Haley, Amina, and Molly. So first, we're going to talk about community need, supporting immigrant students. 1 in 4 children in the United States live in immigrant families. Of these 18 million children, 86% are first-generation citizens. Due to the inconsistent federal reporting, there is no clear data on how many children have experienced familial separation, though it is estimated at well over 500,000. Since the beginning of 2025, it is estimated that ICE detains an average of 1,053 people per day. The impact of family separation, deportation, ICE raids, and stress of living in mixed status households are far-reaching. First, we're going to talk about the health impacts. There is an associated heightened risk for developing chronic physical and mental health issues such as PTSD, depression, suicidal ideations, stroke, heart disease, and other chronic conditions. The impact on resources. Roughly 47% of immigrant families and 58% of mixed status families experience material hardships. And this is referencing access to adequate nutrition, the ability to pay for housing, pay their bills, access to adequate health care. Many families with eligible children will avoid nutrition or health programs because of immigration status. And then the educational impacts. Schools districts around the United States are reporting that many first generation and immigrant students are chronically absent or withdrawing from school entirely due to the presence of ICE and the constant threat of ICE raids. Approximately 9% of immigrant youth ages 14 to 17 are not enrolled in school and had not completed high school, and ages 18 to 21 lack a high school diploma. A 2025 ruling barred many immigrant families from enrolling in Head Start programs, effectively denying over 115,000 children access to early education, health, and nutrition resources. Our why. Why did we decide to focus our efforts on this type of community work? As our nation experiences an influx in disruptive and harmful immigration policy and attacks on our academic institutions, organizations that serve these communities need support more now than ever. Our group is passionate about access to education and the rights of immigrants residing in the U.S. We recognize that the many problems we face in this country intersect. Our goal was to offer a highly accessible avenue for people to support organizations that have long-standing relationships with the immigrant communities in Oregon and across the nation. We directed our focus towards immigrant and first-generation children in the education system, because this issue is not only urgent, it is personally and locally relevant. As in Oregon, we are home to over 184,000 children that are living within immigrant families, amounting to over 10% of all K through 12 students. This issue is obviously very relevant to the area that we live in and is something that each of us are passionate about. And that's why we decided to gear our efforts towards this. So next I will be handing off the presentation to Haley, who's going to talk about the organizations we chose and why we chose them.
So, with our organization selection, we really wanted to focus on our topic, which was immigration rights, but also wanted to make sure that these organizations had an emphasis on children and family that may be struggling with these policies. And we kept it within 3 local areas, or local to us areas, which were the Salem Keizer area, Portland, and Hood River. We also had certain criteria for our selection, and this changed throughout our process. In the beginning, we focused a lot on small organizations that were very local and focused on the specific topic that we've mentioned. Um, Kind of as the project went along and we weren't hearing back from these local organizations, we broadened our horizons as our project changed, and we added in more national and bigger organizations like Head Start and Kind. But we did want to make sure that we put an emphasis on our local community. Another criteria that we had was the websites needed to have easy access to like donation links, making it easier for people to see where they're needing to go after seeing our links. And now I'm going to pass along to Amina, who is going to discuss our more about our project and the implementation process we've had.
So here we have our immigrant fundraising advocacy campaign. Our team recognized the challenge children face in education when stability and safety for their family is at risk or influx. This is especially impactful for immigrant families with limited resources and the current U.S.'s administration's attack on immigration. We sought to partner with organizations with a commitment to serving immigrant children's educational and basic needs, hoping to raise funds to support their efforts. We shifted our project to focus on providing ease of access to these organizations and autonomy to donating to the ones that move people. Our sanctuary and support fundraising advocacy campaign provides an accessible guide to those that are um, provides us an accessible guide to several local and national organizations that are supporting immigrant families. The community members can scan the QR code or click the link to find our flyers to gain access directly to the guide and these organizations' donation page. Our intended project outcomes for our project was to increase the community support for organizations that are caring for immigrant families by increasing the financial resources available to them through aid to aid their mission. With an increase of resources, these organizations can support more families to develop safety and accessibility to meet educational goals. The first step of our implementation was sending out emails and posting flyers to our communities and our personal social media pages. The next step would be for us to post flyers to our local communities, which include the surrounding Portland and Salem larger area, and while also encouraging others to post and share these flyers. This fundraising campaign is self-sufficient, so it doesn't require additional maintenance to distribute the funds. And then funds raised can also be monitored periodically. The project outcomes are yet to be measured since the project is just getting through, we're just beginning the phase of implementation, the starting phase. So the team has shared the campaign flyers through either email or their social media to start. We're now going to pass it off to Molly.
So for our intentions of our project, our main goal was to support students from immigrant families who face unique challenges within their education system. Because of our shared interest in both education and immigrant communities, we wanted to combine the two by creating a project that would provide meaningful support and resources. Originally, our plan was to design flyers with QR codes that linked to information with services for immigrant families, which we do intend to distribute within our hometowns. However, when none of our bigger organizations responded, many of us became busier throughout the term as well. We decided to adjust the direction and ultimately could not really carry out our original plan. Despite our new implementation plan, we believe that this project has a strong potential and would be valued to return in the future when we have more time and resources to actually continue on fully. We're not quite sure of the overall impact of our project yet. We won't really know until we see results from the QR codes. We posted the QR codes on different forms of social media to reach out to a general audience. We use Facebook, Snapchat, and even Instagram. Now on to lessons learned. Um, our three most important lessons we learned about leadership from this project experience. Our first one is adaptability. For example, when each organization didn't reach back out to us, we had to adapt our main goal and change it a little bit for the project. Number two is having a diverse leadership. We learned that each style and approaches varied from person to person. We had different members who led at different times throughout this term. There was no structure or outline for most of our meetings besides what was provided from us. It just kind of happened naturally. And third was creating psychological safety. Our group was very open about things that were going on in each other's lives. We created a safe environment, and because of that, everybody felt really comfortable sharing and discussing the obstacles that we faced. The three most important lessons our team learned about teamwork. The first one, I feel like we had to address adaptability again. Because we had several obstacles come up throughout this term, we quickly learned how to change and meet in the middle when it come to changing our weekly meetings. There were several instances where we had to change meeting days or even times so that everybody could attend the meetings. Our second one is the impact of group norms on how these norms develop and how they influence the group as a dynamic. We developed our norms based on collaborating and valuing members' well-being at the same time as our general goal. This allowed us to work together easily. Lastly, we have equity and shared responsibility. The strengths of each member were valued and aided in the goal of our achievement. I think we did a great job of dividing and conquering our weekly tasks along when it came to our main goals of this project.
And then here's the page of some of the references used to gather information regarding immigration statistics and experiences in our country right now. And I believe that's the end of our presentation.